Welcome to another episode of Cocktails with Cousins. I'm Erica.
I'm KB.
And we are here to talk about Married at First Sight Houston, season 13, episode 15. We are coming close to the end of the season. There's about 2 episodes left. This week, they were kind of checking in on their last little questions that they had before they talk with their family and make their decision. So we're going to discuss what happened on this episode. Before we get started, go ahead and hit the like button. Go ahead and share and subscribe to our channel. And that's how you can support us for free. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and jump right in. Let's talk about Gil and Myrla. Well, first off, I'm going to say they didn't really have a lot going on this episode. I mean, they were talking about their families, and from seeing and hearing their stories, I can kind of understand why both of them are the way that they are. Did you see that picture of Myrla's house that she grew up in?
Right.
Like what?
That explains a lot about how she is, because she doesn't want to go back to that shack.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, when she said that she grew up poor, like she definitely, they definitely had, not that many means or whatever. But it is exciting to see that she has kind of pushed herself and gotten to a place where she is able to provide for herself, not only, where somewhere to stay, but she, has money that she can spend freely or whatever. But it does say a lot to why she is so stuck on living
right.
She has been living, because she's like, look, I'm not going to be pretending as if I don't have money, because I've been there and it's not fun.
Right. I can totally understand that.
Yeah.
So kudos to Myrla.
Yeah, well, kudos to her, but Gil is not feeling it. Did you hear that conversation that they had with Dr. Pepper? She was like, yeah, I'm not changing the way that I'm spending money. Like, I can afford it and I'm going to do it. And he was like, he basically was saying, why be wasteful? Like, if you didn't shop for a year or two, we might be able to buy a house more quickly than if you continue to shop or whatever. And I watched the Unfiltered. With that conversation and the Unfiltered, it kind of made me worry a little bit, because they've been in a good place. But I don't know if she is feeling him always talking about finances. Did you get this?
Right? Yes, I got that same feeling.
Yeah,
because he's gonna have to meet her halfway.
Yeah,
like she is used to spending money on shopping, and she can spend the money on shopping.
Yeah,
and because she saves a lot. But I get what he's saying. If we can buy a house in a shorter period of time, if you stop shopping, well, maybe she doesn't quit shopping altogether, but she just spends less on shopping.
Yeah, I agree. I can see both sides of it. She's like, look, I got the money. I'm putting away. I mean, I'm pretty sure she didn't say this, but I'm sure she was thinking that, like, I'm putting away more money than you in the saving process. Like, why do I have to give up what I can do? But then that makes me think, like I think I've said this before, if she can do everything on her own, at some point in this relationship, he's gonna feel like, well, what's my point? Like, so
Right.
Get it, like, and I get that they're on different paths or whatever when it comes to finances. But do you think that that may be a factor that will ultimately end their relationship? Like, I think they'll say yes on decision day, but I don't know about these finances. I think they might come in their way. What do you think?
I hope not, but I have a feeling that it's going to take a bigger conversation than that, because she said on the Unfiltered that she never brings up the amount of money that he makes. He's always bringing it up. And Ryan said something that was interesting. He said, as much as Gil talks about Myrla and putting her down. Well, he doesn't put her down, but bringing up the finances. It's like he has a problem with it, not Mirla.
Yeah, it's definitely something that he's going to have to work through, but I think that they could work through it together. I mean, as a couple, she can definitely help him to kind of, coach. She can kind of coach him because she does it for a living. But she could kind of coach him where they can kind of figure out ways where he can take his expertise and maybe turn it into something more lucrative. He did have, remember that time we found those videos on YouTube of him doing the exercises? That might be something that he could kind of, use to his advantage, but it is something that he's going to have to work through. But I think that's a part of that conversation. Like I said, at some point he's going to say, what's my point? Because she really doesn't need him. And he's going to want to feel needed in some type of way. So I don't know. I just hope that doesn't put a monkey wrench into, into their relationship. But I do think that's going to have to be addressed.
Right.
It's like the elephant in the room, right?
Right.
Other than that, I mean, I think that if something happened on decision day where one of them said no, that would be the shock of the season.
Yeah, I would be heartbroken.
Yeah, I mean, because they're good. Like they just need to work through this finance thing. But let's move on to somebody else who's not a shoo-in. Let's talk about Jose and Rachel. They too did not have much going on this episode, but then Rachel went and dropped a bomb. She said that when she got locked out of the house, she said she called somebody she knew, her ex. Can you believe that?
Right. Not calling the Lyft to take her home.
Right. But she has a whole apartment. And then I wonder what her and her ex talked about. Let's say they talked.
Right.
They talk about that.
They talked about Jose.
Of course.
He's gonna watch this show back and be like, man.
Yeah.
Jose is stupid. Basically.
Well, he's had this whole time, he's had this fear of trust. And that was why he kind of did the whole blow up. I think in the moment he handled it better than what I thought he was going to handle it. When they were talking to Dr. Pepper and she asked them something, I can't remember the specific question that she asked him at the moment. But as soon as she asked him that question, like Rachel's whole demeanor changed. Her face dropped, her head dropped, like her body language said so much. And I was like, she cheated. Like that was the first thing I thought.
Did she bring up the fact that she slept at her ex house after she had that conversation with Dr. Pepper?
Yeah, no, that came up after the fact, because in the meeting with Dr. Pepper is when her whole demeanor changed, and she was like, a secret that I need to tell Jose. Now I will say I take this back. I will say that I know that they had a conversation after the fact with each other. Now, if she told him when he was with Dr. Pepper or when they were with Dr. Pepper, I don't know. That might be why it seems as if he handled it better. I don't remember them airing the conversation about it until after the fact or whatever. So that could be a possibility of why he handled it a little bit better. Or maybe he's maturing. He said that he wasn't going to do it again. He said he was going to honor and love his wife. Remember, Dr. Pepper looked at those notes on the refrigerator when she came to the house to do the interview. Dr. Pepper also told her that she wasn't perfect in that situation.
Right.
And Dr. Pepper stayed calling Jose controlling. You see her slide that in on him? Yeah. I was like, she wants you to know that you controlling, boo.
Right. Okay. One thing that interests me was Jose saying he felt that he was less fortunate because his family ate beans and rice.
Exactly.
And I thought that was a Hispanic thing.
That's what Rachel said. She was like,
Rachel said it too.
Mhm.
because the same way as me, Rachel said, the fact that you have a house, you're not less fortunate.
Exactly. I was feeling Rachel. Just because you were eating beans and rice but living in a house, I don't see how that could make you less fortunate. But I think that's also a part of why he has that thing with money where he just
Mhm.
save and save and save, and like he doesn't want to spend because he probably is feeling like if I spend any money, then I'm gonna be in a place where I'm less fortunate, although he didn't necessarily grow up less fortunate. So he just gonna have to work on that. I am interested to see how this is going to play out because Jose said he is not gonna be cheated on, and I feel
Right.
and with this whole
I got a feeling that when the reunion airs, this might be wrong, but the boyfriend that she was slept over at the house is gonna come up.
Oh yeah, look, I wouldn't be surprised if he came on and had a thing or two to say. I wonder if that was the one that she had just broken up with. More than likely, yes, but the one she had just up with right before the show, because for it to be anybody else, I mean, if it was a older ex, I might be like, well, maybe they are friends and he nearby, but I'm almost certain it's the one that she had broken up with right before she came on the show.
Yeah, because anybody who's angry with their new boyfriend will call it old boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, and be ranting and raving about their new husband.
Yeah, because I was her boyfriend.
Yeah, she definitely did that.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Like I said, it would be interesting to see how this plays out. I do believe that there's a possibility that he could say no. It just depends on kind of like the conversation that he has with his family and friends next week. That will, let us know whether or not he's going to, maybe throw this thing into the water or whatever. But we'll see, right? All right, so let's go on to next couple, Michaela and Zach. What in the world is going on with those two this week?
Okay, Michaela has abandonment issues. When she told Zach to leave, and she told him repeatedly to leave.
Yes.
And then he left, and so she wants to play victim.
Yes.
Michaela uses her daddy's death as a justification for her actions, and it's no justification.
Yeah, I mean, and I feel bad for you. I really do. I understand grief is a hard thing to deal with, but it cannot be your excuse for your bad behavior in every sense of the word. But the thing about it is, though, she told Dr. Pepper it wasn't bad behavior. She was having a panic attack. That's why she kicked over that bench. She was having a panic attack. Like, girl, a panic attack. Yeah. Yeah, she's gonna need some therapy. And for the fact that she has gotten away with that bad behavior all this time is a part of the problem. I think that her not her parents, her mom and her sisters have kind of just let her be because she was, she's the youngest. She she may not have understood fully what was going on, or she did. Like
Go ahead. Did she lose her daddy at a young age?
I can't remember.
Or did this just happen? I think it just happened 2 years ago, or less than 5 years. But
I can't remember, so her daddy but possibly
could have been the problem too. Her whole family.
Yeah, I think they have allowed her to be the baby for really her entire life, because her behavior is just, it can't be explained. And then for her to try to say, oh, I was having a panic attack, and that's the reason why I did all of that. No, ma'am, that is not acceptable. Nobody is buying that. And like I said, Dr. Pepper said, go to therapy.
Right. But Zach was wrong for getting up and leaving. He could just help listen to her.
He could have. Zach was also interesting in his plight to understand why what was happening. Did you hear him when he said he called all of his ex-girlfriends? Yes, he said his ex-girlfriends, and he said he tried to figure out why what was going on, and that all of his exes said that he likes to avoid conflict at all costs. And you know what? I agree with the ex-girlfriends, because that's exactly what he's trying to do right now. He wants to put a band-aid on this gunshot wound that he has going on, and he just continuously runs. And although he's handling the situation in a better way than what she's handling it, he's still not handling it the way that, you know, would be productive.
Right.
Yeah, because he definitely could have stayed and listened. And then, you know, they came back and talked to Dr. Pepper again. What did you think about that conversation of them, you know, kind of just talking it out?
I mean, they make up, then break up. And like, did you see when the elevator ride down and he was saying, now maybe we can go and talk about it more?
Yeah, and then the thing about it is, I feel like they do superficial makeup. So it's like, I can't even explain it. They just, I don't know, they make up like middle schoolers. Like, you know, oh, we're happy now. We're gonna forget about everything that happened. And then yeah, like you said, let's go have dinner, or let's spend the night together, because that was a part of you that we'll get to. But so I mean, it's confusing. I don't know. They don't need to be with each other, because they're unhealthy for each other. They both need to go work on themselves before they start trying to be with somebody else, I think. But anywho, enough of them, you say?
Yeah.
All right, well, let's move on to R&B, Ryan and Brett. Now, let's just say this. Ryan said that Brett is not his cup of tea. And you know how he said it? He created an account on a dating app. What, sir? Y'all gonna be finished with this in about not even 2 weeks of this.
No, a week. A week, Brett said.
Yeah.
And he just about it as to say, I was gonna activate it after decision day. What? You shouldn't even downloaded it.
Exactly.
That's telling her that you already know the answer, and the answer is no.
Right, exactly. And then how about the fact not only did he have an account, but match with somebody she knew? Think that it was gonna come back, and he was like, well, I don't understand why it was active. Oh, sir, I don't understand why you have the account.
Right.
And it was crazy though, because they had such a good time, like you know, kind of getting to know their childhoods or whatever. Thought that they were growing, but I mean, I just don't understand. I don't understand him and his approach to this, because when he tries, they have a good time. And yes, she may have like her little woes or whatever, because they were on I don't know what that bike or car.
ATV.
ATV. There you go. See, I didn't know what that was called. But anyway, when they were on that, she had her little like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. But it wasn't like unbearable. Like something that you know, she was scared, because she's, you know, scared of most things. And she didn't freak out. She didn't like, you know, say, I'm not gonna do it, let me off of here. She did it. She handled it like a champ. But then he like, and for your reward, I'm gonna create an account on a date.
I thought Brent handled that the best way that she knew how to. I thought that it was good. And she said, I really don't feel like sitting up here going through old pictures and reading you this letter when you done started a dating app.
Exactly.
You can just leave.
Exactly. What I did get out of that conversation is, though, I got out of that conversation, and then when they were outside, after they rode the ATV, is that she has been hurt a lot in relationships. Because if you remember her letter, it talked about the love of her family and her friends, but it talked about no type of love from someone of the opposite sex. It just, I could tell that she had been through it when it came to dating, which is unfortunate because she seems like a nice girl. And
Yeah.
you know, she came from a family that I feel like, at least for her, in her mind, taught her how to love and what she should be looking for in a relationship. But for whatever reason, dudes have not been treating her well, and that's unfortunate for me. Yeah.
Right.
What let's see. What else did I want to say about those two? I think that's it. You have anything else to say about them?
Nope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they are a resounding no. They don't even need to go get dressed up to go on the couch. Everybody already knows what they're gonna say. Which, you know what, she just needs to find somebody. She needs to be able to go ahead and find somebody else, because he doesn't want the truth. He doesn't want her to be honest. And the truth of the matter is, he hasn't really tried. So it's unfortunate. All right, let's move right let's move right along, because we always have a train wreck to talk about when we talk about this Married at First Sight season with Johnny and Bao. A lot was going on this episode, right?
So Johnny admits that he has daddy issues. And I'm so glad that he can admit it, and that he had this revelation.
Yes, I was glad to hear that as well. It was like a light bulb went off. Now I wonder if he's going to do anything about it, because it's one thing to admit it, but then it's another thing to kind of act through it. But he did come to that realization that he has issues because of his dad.
Yeah. Right. And he was talking about when Bao shared her childhood memories, and that he could tell how her parents' marriage affected Bao, and like how she tried so hard.
And no, I agree. I agree. And then one thing that I thought was funny though about Bao and her talking about her childhood, we know that her mom and dad's relationship affected her, and it's unfortunate that her dad had to deal with PTSD, and only imagine during that time, just in within his community, they not knowing how to handle that. But why was Bao burning Barbie dolls?
Yeah, I was like, huh?
I said, we got a serial killer in the making, because she said, oh, mommy and daddy are fighting. Let me go burn the Barbie doll. Oh, good.
Got an arsonist.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. But what about that conversation with Dr. Pepper, when Dr. Pepper was like, well, what questions or what things do you have that you still want to know about? And Johnny said, I have learned all that I need to know. Like, I was like, hold on, wait. And Dr. Pepper was like, hold on, wait, what do you mean? And then he goes in to say that he had a conversation with her best friend, and her so-called best friend like played her,
talking under the bus.
Yeah, Thompson. I wouldn't date her. I wouldn't hook her up with nobody. I don't know how she's been or how she can continue to be in relationships. I was like, honey, Bao, I'm gonna need you to get a new best friend.
Yeah, and so like, on the unfiltered, Johnny revealed that he knew her since middle school. She's both of their friends.
And why you bring up the fact, you bring up middle school, he said that him and Gil went to middle school together too.
Right.
Like, what? One, I don't know. For whatever reason, it seems like Gil is older than him. I guess because he's more mature, but neither here nor there. But
right.
This situation with Sarah and Johnny. Because Sarah is the friend, Val's best friend. For Sarah to give all that information or to make all that effort to make Val look bad, I said Sarah wants Johnny for herself. She has to. Like, there's no way that you're gonna go into that much detail for your best friend to
right
marriage. Like, that don't even make any sense. And the truth of the matter is, I'm sure Val would gladly give her Johnny. Because he ain't done nothing but treat her poorly the whole season.
Yeah.
I thought that even in that situation though, that Val was communicating well. Like, she seems to always have like grace under pressure. Even though, you know, he is like saying all these things to her, like talking to her bad, she always just seems to be like, I never thought of it that way, or I wish you wouldn't talk like that. She never kind of goes off. Still, like we've said several times.
Yeah.
Than me.
Yeah. So on the Unfiltered, Mirla was nodding her head in agreement with everything Johnny says about her, Val's on camera face and her off camera face. Now Mirla didn't say anything, but Mirla never says anything. She was just nodding her head in agreement.
She did. And then that goes back to what her best friend said when she said that Val will break. So they kind of had this agreement that Val breaks you down and then controls you and tries to control you and then builds you back up the way she wants. I haven't seen any of that. I've seen it on the opposite side. But if this girl has masterminded a whole persona on camera that is completely different than how she is off camera, like, I will just be the fool who fell for it. Because I just see all of that. I could see maybe her not saying things a certain way, or, maybe her talking different off camera. But they said this child is going to chop you down and build you back up the way you want. She wants.
Hey.
Like, I don't know. But I mean,
I can't wait to this reunion.
I know, because this is the second person who said something about her and how she acts off camera. I don't know. I just, one thing that I noticed about Johnny is I don't care what is going on. He always seems to have a little tinge of disgust or annoyance with her. Like, I felt like even though he was having a revelation when they were visiting like their childhood homes or whatever, he still seemed to be annoyed and disgusted to me about I just don't know, maybe it's just me and the vibe that I'm getting, but he just always seems to have a reason to be upset and disgusted with her.
Right.
Yeah. Let's see. And then he's always blaming her. Like, I feel like when things go wrong, like, he's always blaming her. Case in point, when they were having dinner, and what did she say to him? Oh my God. She said, "I'm still here and I'm trying." And then he like blew up on her and was like, "I can't do this. I'm not going to take this. Like, I'm leave." Like, he got up and left like he always did. And I was like, what about her saying that she's here and still trying made him feel as if he was being attacked? I said they have got to have some good editing going on this show, because I never get like why he blows up, and it has to be that it's something that we're not seeing.
Yeah, maybe it's because she acts like they're not going to make it off camera, and then she says she's still trying out on camera, and so it's like he gets disgusted with that.
That could explain a few things. I don't know. I mean, at this point, we are clearly hypothesizing on
Right.
everything. I need the reunion to happen so that we can kind of unpack this package, because it is definitely something missing, and I don't know what it is.
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, I mean, I can't think of anything else. Like, I'm sure that they'll have more for us to kind of figure out, with them for next, next episode. So let's just move right on into next episode. Did you get a chance to see the previews for this episode?
I didn't.
Okay, well, let me tell you some things that I heard. These were some of the catchphrases. Rachel tells her friend, Rachel's friend tells her not to be a doormat. And so I don't know what the full context of that conversation was, but that was something there. And then Zach and Michaela, look, all I gotta say is I need them to leave each other alone.
Yeah. Because didn't she say she loved him?
Yeah. And then she was talking to her sister, and she said that she had spent the night with him.
Yeah.
So I was like, y'all, anyway. So, and then Gil and Mirla, they have this conversation about money again. So I'm like, oh my God, here we go. Like, is this gonna be the doomsday of y'all relationship?
Okay, I think that they're doing so good that the producers don't have anything to talk about but talk about money. To tell them to talk about money.
That could be true, because who was it? Ryan and Clara from last season said that they were talking about having this problem with them not having intercourse, and they were having sex the whole entire time. So maybe it is something like, oh, bring this up, whatever. We'll see. Mm-hmm. Look, we'll see how it goes. Those were kind of like the main points that I heard. It's just that this Zach and Michaela, like, I definitely need them to stay away from each other, because it's toxic. And then Johnny was up to his old ways, but who's surprised about that, right? Well, that's all for us. Until next time, go ahead and make sure that you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss an episode. Make sure you hit the like button and share it with your friends. We'll be back next week to talk about episode 16, which is the next to last episode, Decision Day. Looming, and I can't wait until we get to Decision Day so we can see how everything goes down. Until next time, we'll see you with Cocktails with Cousins. All right.
Bye.
Bye.